second part. Now, basically, okay, say you have some tracks out, you're doing charts on certain sites and whatever, you play locally and everything. Did you go and get like a agency, or how would you go about
They
that to
come
go?
to you.
They come to you.
Everything comes to you. This is the funny thing. You know, when you start doing the right, when you start making the right moves and doing the right things, it's all gonna kind of come to you. But you do have to put some effort and some work in. You know, you got to do your networking. When you're playing locally and you start putting out some good records, people start noticing. You know, but you're not gonna get out of town gigs right away. Focus on your area. You know, you guys live in San Francisco, so obviously you want us to be like, okay, I'm gonna try and get some gigs in San Jose for an album release, and maybe something in LA, maybe something in San Diego, maybe I don't. Do you guys have house music in Sacramento? A little bit. So you know what I mean? It's like, so you want to like you want to start branching off small. Also, like I said, if you're not ready and you get your big shot, it just might be it. You know, as far as your DJing goes, make sure you're at the top of your game. You know, no, you know, make sure that you're as good as anyone else you listen to. Go out, listen to stuff, and be like, yeah, I'm ready. You know, I feel it. When I play, it's as good as Steve Bug or it's as good as whatever. Always be at the top of your game, the best you can, and be happy about it. And you know, always have a good time while you're playing and all that stuff. Because if you're not enjoying this stuff, there's better things you can do with your time. Obviously, you know, you're not going to be rich from making this kind of music. You're going to get if you do make it and start traveling and stuff, it's fun. It's a good time. It's a great way to see the world. You meet lots of cool people. Like that to me, that's riches. You know, paper, whatever. You know, it's. I can go all night about how money is an existential theory and it doesn't actually exist. You know, it's what you get out of it that actually, you know, is your riches. You know, when you meet great people, you get to eat great food, you get to see the world. Whatever. That's the whole point of life. Enjoying what you do and doing what you enjoy. And if this is what kicks it for you, then just good things will happen. And some people too, they've been around for a long time and they never break out till like sometimes 15 years into their career. So just know that you might be a sleeper. You might be the creeper who like all of a sudden comes out of nowhere, but you've been working at it for 15 years and you love what you're doing. You're enjoying it. You have some other job or another career or whatever. Who knows? House music might end up being your career, but it might take you 15 years. It might take you one record. There's people that just come out of the blue. You know, if you're a DJ and you follow it, you're like, well, everyone's playing this record. You know, all of a sudden you see this guy. He's on every label in the next 6 months, and then he's touring. A booking agent comes to him and goes, hey, who's doing your bookings? A lot of labels also are affiliated with booking agencies. So, when you finally start releasing on some of the bigger and better labels, they'll be affiliated with booking agency. You know, you can just flat out be, ask and you shall receive. Just never feel entitled. And then just be like, hey, do you think maybe you could put me on the roster or something like that? Or they'll just flat out be like, dude, everyone is playing your shit and people want to hear you. So boom, it's there, right? And then, you'll find a publisher, it'll find you, or you'll look for one. If it's not happening for you, you can make it happen, or it's just going to come to you. It's one of those juxtapositions because we're all different and we all have different needs and different things. And maybe it's not the right time for you to break out, even though you're totally ready. You just stick with it and you just get that much better. So that when it is your time, you're not going to go out there and make an ass of yourself. And you're not going to you have this one big record and then the rest of your stuff sucks. You just got to have the skill set there. You got to have everything in tune. And if you're not a DJ and you just want to produce music, that's cool. Don't try to DJ. If you don't want to be a DJ and you don't have any training to it, don't do it. Because there's already enough really good DJs out there. And just because you think you can go out there and make a buck, do a live show. Work on a live show, because if you're just going to be a producer, but you do want to play in front of people, don't be like, well, I'm just going to DJ. That's what, don't do it. Just, do something creative, do something that's your own. If you're at that kind of, mindset where you're like, oh, DJing's not for me. I don't want to play other people's music. I want to play my own shit all night long, then do a live show or something, And I can't stress enough with the live show. Make sure you do it many times, not in front of people. Because things go wrong, computers crash, and always be aware that speakers are magnets, right? When you take a computer into a club, they're next to giant magnets. Why do people who play with Serato always have their Serato their hard drives fried. It's because they're next to magnets. So be aware of that. When you're setting up your live show speaker placement, keep your shit away from gear. Keep your shit away from the speakers, especially if it's all computer based. If you have some hardware and stuff that can be a buffer if your computer crashes. Anything else?
Has that happened to you?
What?
You're getting effed while playing live?
Well, when I did live shows, I never brought the computer. I did everything like step sequencer style. That's why I don't do a lot of live shows, because I have to tear my studio apart and bring it into a nightclub, and it's very labor intensive. And to be honest, it's the other side of the coin. It's like, I'm a DJ, I'm a DJ. I happen to make music. People seem to like it. That's cool. My live PA is not the greatest thing. I'll be the first to admit it. I'm not a live PA guy, so I'm not going to go. There's people like Pesner and stuff out there that do amazing live shows. Why do I want to take from that? And, when there's somebody already doing it better. But yeah, and I don't DJ with a computer either. Just don't trust the damn things.
I check. I just opened up a label, and going back to the publishing question, do I submit for publishing, like with BMI and Aztec and all that?
Probably. Are you going to put your own stuff out?
Or as a label?
Are you going to put your own stuff out?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, then you want to register your own stuff and start your own publishing company for your stuff.
Okay.
You don't really...
As well as the other guys on my label?
Yeah. Or, with certain people, right, if you signed a record off me, I won't give you my publishing. It's like, that's my bread and butter, right?
Right.
So, but for newer artists, yeah, of course, do it for them, because otherwise, unless they have their shit together, you're going to do it for them. You're going to generate some income for them. You're going to take a percentage for yourself as the publisher, etc. It goes down the line.
So just do it through BMI and then kind of start it from there.
or ASCAP or whatever,
Right.
yeah. And just do some homework on it. I don't know exactly how it works in the States. So, I can't really advise you on how to publish music in America.
But at least start there with the
Yeah.
BMI and Aztec.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
register everything.
Thanks.
So, if you're really low budget, where should you invest your money to get looks? Do you invest it more
A boob job, of course, if you want to get looks.
Well, I mean, like, do you invest in good speaker monitors, or where would you put your money first if you're flat broke and you only?
Well, monitors are very important, because it's obvious that, that's going to affect your mix downs and your sound and everything. But you can scrape by really getting to know your speakers. Even if you have the you're loaded and you buy the best monitors out there, your stuff can still sound like shit. It's reference. Reference your, you can be as ghetto as can be and still make amazing music. It doesn't, it's all about what you do with what you got. When I started making music, so very long ago, maybe some of you weren't born yet, it was all MIDI gear. So it was fucking expensive. People were like, what kind of car do you have? It's my studio. It's like, it was really expensive. And, like, I was broke, local struggling DJ. I had days where records won out over food, that's for sure. And, I had friends who had studios, and it's like, oh, you got this extra gear laying around and whatever. So, now you guys have the benefit of buying a computer, some speakers, and a sound card. It's going to cost you a couple grand. It's like, fuck, that's what a keyboard used to cost. It's like, so you guys got it good. But that was also the difference too, is like, there weren't as many music producers back then, because you just had to bow and scrape and, pay your rent late all the time because you had keyboard payments to make and stuff. So, and yeah. I'd sort of do a well-rounded thing with what you're going to spend your money on. Get some speakers that sound decent, Like, if it also, like, I'm sure a lot of you live in apartments and you don't have, like, a studio space and stuff like that, so your neighbors are going to fucking hate your guts. So don't buy, like, a pair of Genelex or Mackie 824s or something like that and just kill your neighbors and have to move every month. I went through that. It sucks. Get some decent monitors. You can, like, I don't know, even some of those little Yamaha bookshelf monitors sound pretty decent, It's just what sounds good to you. And when you go to the music store, bring music that sounds good. and then pick the speakers that sound the best to you, right? Don't be like, well, my friend's got KRKs and Jimmy down the street's got KRKs. I'm going to buy KRKs. It's like, maybe that's not the speaker for you, Go and reference some stuff when you do that. I'm not sure the music stores here, but in Vancouver we have one called Long McQuaid. Bless their heart, they'll give credit to anyone because musicians are all broke ass motherfuckers anyway, right? So it's like they'll give you credit, but if you don't pay your bill for a couple months, Hell's Angels will come to your house. I'm not kidding, and they'll want their gear back, and give them money or the gear. But yeah, if you're financing yourself and you're on a budget, just make do with what you got. Just get yourself a Mac, I guess, because they seem to work good with Logic. But if you're going to use Ableton, build your own PC. It's way cheaper. And then if you're going to use a PC, that's the other thing, is building your own PC will make it so you can constantly upgrade and update that piece of crap that's going to piss you off all the time. You'll know how it works. If you, part of being a musician who uses a PC and Windows and everything is knowing computers very well, because you're constantly going to run into little issues and stuff. Like, for the most part, like, you can't take your Mac apart and fix it. You can take it to the Apple store. It's under a warranty or something, Like, that's the one drawback of the Mac, though, is, it's much harder to replace parts. But if you're going to use Ableton and you don't have very much money, build your own PC. You can probably get something really fast and half decent for a couple $100. Just go get brown bag parts and, lots of RAM. And, you don't need a fancy keyboard as long as something's got keys. Hell, if you're really ghetto, caps lock. Caps lock in Logic does all kinds of fun things. Sure, it's just, a small part of the keyboard, but you can pitch shift up and down, Make do with what you got. Simple as that. And you'll find a way to make it work. If you're, don't be like, my gear is holding me back. I don't have a good enough computer. That kind of mindset will just make you suck in life anyway. You'll be one of those Debbie Downers. I could have been a contender, Anything else? That's what we're going to do now. Okay. Let's arrange our song. What's this here? This is more of you people clapping. I think I'll get rid of it. So what I'm going to do is, since my block is a 4-bar loop, see, by doing this little notch thing, I end the loop there. You caught that? Then yes, erase the automation data. We haven't done any yet. So now we go blah, blah, blah. Select this all. See, I know that there's key commands and stuff for this, but, whoa, no, don't copy. Why is there automation data? Your computer is haunted. Don't show this again. All right. I make bigger blocks out of bigger blocks out of bigger blocks out of bigger blocks. I don't know why I like to do this way. It's just so I can talk to the computer while I'm doing it, maybe. Because I know my computer feels lonely if I don't constantly talk to it. Sometimes it sings back to me. I'll undo that, copy and drag. That was a failed attempt, Jimmy. Oh boy, and now we have this big giant block. It's going to make a really big giant block. It's growing right before my very eyes. It's like sea monkeys. There we go. Are you a little bit slow today, Mr. Computer? That shouldn't have gone there, now should it? Wow. There we go. Isn't that something special? So, how big is our loop? Oh, 129, huh? That's not going to be big enough. That's what she said. Wow, why is it so slow? Hello? That's what she said. As we slowly get the train towards the tunnel. There we go. And we let the train go, and it's going to make blocks for us in its own slow way while the color wheel spins, and hopefully it doesn't crash on us. Yay! I like it when things don't crash on me. I should have done a save a lot sooner, but I like playing with fire. So there, we got a really long song. Much too long for... So now, I like to subscribe to a theory with arrangement. As a DJ myself, I like things that I can mix. Having a nice intro, a nice outro, things like that. It's pretty important because if you make music that nobody can play, no one's gonna play it, right? Unless you're making if you're making an album, like an artist album, sure you want to have intros and like things like that. But for DJ music, you want an intro, you want an outro. I like to subscribe to the theory of bar 165 belongs to everyone. We can all have a good time with it, and bar 193 to that 257 there belongs to everyone. We can have a good time with it, but the middle part, it belongs to me. I can do whatever the fuck I want with it because no one's going to be mixing there. So now, through the process of subtraction, we are going to take things out of our arrangement. Also, since we have our fancy little drum machine here, you're not the drum machine, you can go. Now, we're going to do a bit of volume automation on this. First, we'll get rid of some stuff. I'm getting ahead of myself. All right. Hi-hats in the beginning? Sure. Clap in the beginning? Why not? Oh, we'll give it a little lift, and we'll have that clap come in at bar 17. Ooh, special. Vocal? Definitely not on the intro. Vocal, God, where's the little walking man thing? No, that's not it. That should be it. All right, so we'll get rid of this vocal and feel it out. 49's a little too premature. 65. That's a nice place for a vocal. Also, I'm going to have to change my sub, aren't I? Because I did change the key of the song. I just remembered. Yay me. So now we're going to delete all of our... Whoa. This computer's crazy. So I'm going to do a little Control X here. Command X, whatever you call it. And then I'm going to select the whole channel. And I'm going to delete it. Bye. It's nice knowing ya. And we'll set our cursor back to the 1 so it's on beat when we paste. There we go. And we switched our sub to, I don't know. Oh, what is solo? Where are you, Master Solo? Mm-hmm. Nope. Oh, those aren't working. Why are you soloed? Who is soloed? That's really odd. Oh, I see. You're soloed. All right. Let's play a note. It's a little high. That's a little high. Ooh, that's in the brown tones. And then we'll loop you out forever and ever. The other reason I don't loop everything out forever like that is because, you know, when you want to take a kick out for a minute, you can just do that kind of stuff. I like to take the kick out before the bass line comes in sometimes. I'm just that type of guy. And ooh, look, it's happening. Chords. Chords are subjective. You can have them come in, not on the 1, though. It's so annoying to me when people have the chords just come in on the 1. It's like, it just doesn't give you any room for the track to grow and swell and for you to get a nice long blend out of it and everything like that. And, you know, a lot of people's music reflects their DJing style. I'm one of those people that's interested in this very long mix type of DJing. These just old. So now, as we grow our chords, we're going to apply our auto filter and play with the cutoff. And we'll make a notch here to know where our cutoff was. And we'll start it there. Or if you're a little bit more hands-on, you can do this other thing. You can go to the auto filter and hit touch. And then you can molest away as it's playing, and it records all the movements, which is very handy, especially with something like the microtonic, which we'll get to as we go. And then you go put back to read, and it just reads the automation data. So we're going to have these keys just kind of creep in nice and slow, like so. And as our track progresses, the keys will open up here, and then they'll take us back down and open back up there. And, you know, of course, this is all subjective and guesstimation. And then when the vocal comes in, our keys are going to be quite a bit more muted. And then bar 81, that's when shit's happening. And then bar 81 seems exciting. We'll have the pad come in there. This could really suck. Who knows? But I kind of have some kind of idea of what I'm doing. I've done this once or twice before. And this is my rough sort of arrangement. So before 65, when the vocal comes in, at 65, let's make a little breakdown of some stuff just to introduce the vocal. Now, you may agree with me, you may not. I don't care. And we'll really get these keys muted down here. Da 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 da. And then when it comes back in keys, we'll be doing some stuff there. Look at them. They're so happy with their green line across them. And we'll take the clap out. Yay, chlamydia be gone. Is the clap chlamydia? Or is it gonorrhea? I'm never quite sure on that. Yeah, if someone answers, I guess you're incriminating yourself. And our sub bass will be removed. And then over here, bar 49, some things happen. Things can happen on the 49 or to introduce the 49. I don't know what's going to happen at 49 because we haven't gotten there yet, but we're doing a rough sort of arrangement. And then I like to do what I call the listen test to see how boring our song is and then fill it in with things. Because, you know, this big loop, you know, we're going to listen to it and go, wow, that's great. You're awesome. No. But then we'll get into filling it in, adding effects, doing stuff. What do we say? Breakdown. I'm going to close my eyes, and wherever the mouse goes is my breakdown. So 145. Do we want a long breakdown, or do we want a short breakdown? Who knows? So actually, since we don't have the time to make an intricate breakdown, we have a time constraint today, we're just going to make a kind of a short one from there to there, just to break the monotony of things. Ooh, look at that. And then to give ourselves, since this is kind of a tracky groove, a nice long amount of song to mix out of. And now we're going to do a little some subtraction. Bar 225, what do you hold in store for my future? Well, definitely, we're not going to have any chords. They're going to leave at 193. Now, these markers that I'm talking about, you guys all understand the cyclic rhythm of music, right? You know, your 8 count, your 16, et cetera, et cetera. Now, house music, you know, for your tracks to like grow and swell together as you're mixing them, you do want to follow some kind of formula for the mix in and the mix out. It really does make it easier to play. And you know, it's not a lot of the tracks I make, I tend to do all the DJ's work for them, start fading things out and things like that, so you can just stand there and go, yeah, it's mixing itself. I just have to ride the pitch, you know. I like that kind of thing. And it does make it, you know, a little bit more, you know, appealing for a DJ to buy, you know, when they start getting used to your music, they're like, yeah, I can always mix this guy's stuff. So I know when I buy it, you know, you get your shitty little clip-on Beatport or your crappy clip-on Juno if you're buying vinyl or decks or whatever. You don't get the whole song, so you trust in the producer that they're gonna give you a mix in, a mix out, you know. But ever go to What People Play to buy music? They actually give you the whole clip. Yes, you with the hand, and you need the microphone.
I was just saying yes. I go to What People Play.
Good.
That's all.
She agrees. And since our vocal's gonna be doing stuff, how much of it do we want? Shall we sparse the vocal out? Because honestly, it's just gonna be, it'll be knitting and knitting. So we'll have the vocal there. Actually, maybe we'll do something a little bit more interesting. And we're gonna sparse it out. We'll have the full vocal there. Come back to the track. And at bar 81, we will get the vocal again. I'm teasing you, people. I'm a tease. And then we'll eliminate that. And, we'll leave you there. And we'll drag your friend to the gutter. And then we'll drag you over there. See, I'm just completely guessing with my arrangement, and I kind of like the randomness that you can get sometimes. And then you have to make sense of it all. Because, you know, I don't know, I have an idea in my head, and this is my way of, besides talking to the computer like a complete, utter nut, this is my way of visually expressing myself without listening to it. One time I made a whole song without listening to it. It was a really cool exercise. And I just guessed on all the patches and everything, and I even did the automation, and I listened to it, and it was fucking horrible. But it was so much fun. And, you know, challenge yourself all the time. Challenge yourself with what I like to call exercises. You know, I like to have drills and things like that, and practice my scales, and, you know, it just makes you a better, well-rounded music producer type person. It's just like when you DJ. I like to do the no headphones at home. Just force myself to play with no headphones. Yeah. And see how good, you know, how good that is. Because it really helps. All these stupid little drills help. We'll definitely take these pads out. Nobody wants a pad at the end of their song. Unless you're that kind of person. Why aren't you selecting all of them? You're a very, very bad mouse. Jeez. Maybe it's running out of batteries. Pads out there. They're not in for very long. But we wouldn't be playing this song an epically long amount of time. All right, who's ready for a listening party? We'll take that clap out again. Where's our other breakdown? Our other breakdown's over here somewhere, doing stuff. I like cats. Sorry. You're not singing in the breakdown anymore. Ooh, that clappy noise can stay in there. And whoa, what is with this mouse? It's crazy. I don't want to delete the track. That's not what we're trying to accomplish here today. And we'll take the clap out. You guys getting an idea of what I'm doing and why? Or do I just seem crazy and eccentric?
Both.
All right, good. We're in unanimous decision making. So our song. Oh, turn that metronome off. Oh, it sounds like some stuff's going on. All right. Now we're gonna touch the microtonic. Let's see which sound. These. Mr. Tom. now we know where our tom volume automation is. So I like the toms to come in at bar 25 today, please. Thank you. What other sound shall we? That's doing some stuff. So now, because what I've done is, since I've touched it in such a intimate way, it allows me to see into its soul. But actually, see, I don't know, are you guys familiar with automation? Somewhat, no, blank stares, couple people nodding, that guy in the back clapping, and you with the hand. Are you automating along in your book?
I was wondering if you do automation usually with the mouse, or if you like MIDI map stuff, or what you do.
I tend to, well, I do like with synths and stuff. I definitely do all that hands-on, and then you have to record all these takes, and pick the best one, and all of this human error and everything, which makes things fun and interesting. Or, sometimes I'll just draw it in with the mouse because I'm really familiar with what I'm doing. So that's why I do it like that sometimes. And then other times I'll do a whole pass of the song with the touch on and just tweak it out, and then go in and edit things, right? I'll just be like, oh, I really like that bit there. Or you can bounce it. You can do like a, 49 bar bit with automation, then bounce it and then chop it up, pick the parts you like, the things where, and then place them, in time, I have that thing like tick, 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 before like a bar 25 or something like that, to give bar 25 some kind of introduction, because as you can see on that little line that the toms are going to come in.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Your mic's not on.
Hello. Okay, it's still on. And one other question. You were putting some reverb on the hi-hat earlier, and you mentioned, you do, I wasn't sure if you do individual reverb settings for each drum sound, or if you do grouping, or how you approach bussing and stuff like that. I was wondering.
It really depends. Some stuff I'll bus, some stuff I'll just like this drum machine here right now. I'm just to make it simple. I've got one reverb on it, and I'll go through at some point and I'll play with all this stuff to make it do things and swell and grow and make each intricate channel happen. And there's like, I know when you start making music, you use a lot of channels. That's something that I definitely did. I'd have like songs with like 36 channels and stuff. You don't need it. The best songs, and this includes like jazz and soul and things like that. The best songs really just have that groove, and people making use of like 6 instruments, something like that, and like just making them all count, right? Like you can put subtle sounds, subtle nuances and stuff like that to fill out extra channels, but the main meat of the track should be like 12 channels or something like that. If you're working with vocals and a few different instruments, obviously things vary, but don't make 36 channel songs because they just get really convoluted. And also you have a lot of people, or a lot of frequencies fighting for that range, right? And it's just like, it's too epic. So now that I know where that stuff is, I'll do my marker, and I look at this and I know this up there goes up and this one goes down, and I'll tweak that like that. I like to play this game with myself. It's called Beat the Clock. So as the cursor gets there, I got to make sure that my work is done before it's there, because otherwise I didn't meet my quota in the factory. Ooh.
my tears fall before I sleep? Memories of pain and hurt taking over me.
We'll get rid of that ticky drum sound here. Let's find you, ticky drum sound. Where do you live? Where are your people from?
Why do my tears fall before I sleep? Memories of pain and
When are you gonna come back and visit us, Mr. Ticky Sound? Why? What's the number it was before? 634. We have a match, people. 81, you will return to us. And we will exploit another sound.
why do my tears fall before I sleep? Memories of pain and hurt taking over me. Memories of pain and hurt taking over me.
So we made some sense out of that. Kind of got something going on now. I just did that, didn't I? I get absent-minded in my old age, Wilbur. All right. I like that talking drum. Let's do that again. You're so much fun, talking drum. I like it when you go all low like that. You're so sexy. And turn you back to read for a moment. Level 1. All right. So that's gonna leave us for a minute, and it'll come back in there. Now, shall we have a slow fade, or shall it just happen? I'll do the shadow first. Anyone got any interjections, questions?
Can you do
Confusions?
like the build up before a drop?
Can I?
Can you like show us your process of building one up?
Before I drop?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting there with the automation. Yeah. Also, is my mic working? Or can you hear me?
No, battery died. We're
Oh.
just